Hey everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going! Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Stretch the Sketch. Today I am doing something completely different. Now for the past 3 episodes I have worked in my Traveler's Notebooks of Favorites, kind of documenting the things that I've always loved and I will do again and again, no problem. This time, however, I'm doing something different. I have wanted to do something like this for a while. I've had this canvas for a while, and I just needed the impetus to do it. So now I'm finally doing that. So what I have here is I am going to make a canvas of a quote. So using the sketch by Altenew that we're working with, instead of the squares being photos, I'm going to use those squares as where my embellishment-y type things are going to go, and then the words will go around where the embellishment areas aren't. So I have already went ahead and added some clear gesso to this canvas. They do come pre-gessoed. I just like to add an extra layer just in case. And my plan is to use my shimmers, mists, some dazzlers, some stencils, kind of go whole hog all out there with just everything. So Xanthi is trying desperately to get up here, my cat, but she's kind of being held aloft because, you want me to show you guys something? This is Puka. This is my friend's puppy. My nephew is puppy sitting her this summer. That's his summer job because, of course, he looks into the best summer job ever. Let's see if we can get a face shot. Can we get a face shot, sort of? She is an 8-week-old Chihuahua. 9-week-old Chihuahua? One or the other. And she wanted to be with me right now, so I said I could hold her during the introduction. Okay, totally random and totally off the topic. So my plan is to get really super mixed media-y today, and hopefully that works out. Hopefully this isn't crap. It's a little bit more mixed media than I normally do. Anyway, so, the quote. Yes, I will tell you the quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. It's very long, but it is by Simon Pegg, who's an actor, writer, person. He's Shaun of the Dead, and he's in all the Star Trek movies. He plays Montgomery Scott. So it's talking about being a geek. It says, being a geek is all about being honest about what you enjoy and not being afraid to demonstrate that affection. It means never having to play it cool about how much you like something. It's basically a license to proudly emote on a somewhat childish level rather than behave like a supposed adult. Being a geek is extremely liberating. So it's always been one of my favorite quotes, and I wanted to go ahead and make it into a piece of art, I guess, if I'm being fancy. So I'm going to go ahead. I've pulled some stencils. I don't know which one I'm going to work with. I may work with a couple. I've pulled Coral Me Crazy in Dazzlers and foiled again in Dazzlers. And then I also have a pasties called Putting on the Glitz, and I plan to mix that with a light blue. I'm going to match this to what's going in my bedroom. Well, what's already in my bedroom, my bedding. So those are the colors of my bedding. So I'm going to go ahead, get you guys put on fast forward, and get started with this. Put the doggy down, and hopefully have fun. All right, let's get going. All right, first let me say that doing that awkward finger pointy thing with my right hand rather than my left as a little visual clue that that's when you need to turn off the volume and speed it up, Rachel, was completely awkward. That felt really bad. All right, so I'm considering what type of stencil I'm going to use, and my first thought is to use this doily one as a mask while I put some shimmers mists down over it. And I'm looking for the right blue. I know I'm going to use Mango Tango as my orangey pink color, but I'm not sure what color blue to choose. And I think, well, it's either Frostbite or Cold as Ice. I do not remember which. They are very, very similar. I don't remember what I used. For my gray, I'm using the Shimmerings Concrete, which is a silver color. It does not spray very well. I usually only use it as like misting droplets, but it's fine. As I said, this is not going to be perfect. When you do mixed media like this, I would never ever expect it to be perfect. It's messy, it's shabby chic, it's kind of all over the place. But I actually really like the way it ends up. So what I'm going to be doing right now, as you can see, I'm doing the different sprays, and then I'm going to go ahead and give everything a second coat because it was just a little bit too light for what I was looking for. So a lot of this is super repetitive. It's me putting down, 30 some odd words and then me using Mod Podge on 30 something words. And so I'm going to speed up several bits of this really, really fast and then cut away. Simply because when I got this, it was over 2 hours long. And then even making everything 40%, four times as fast, it was still 45 minutes long. So I I did have to edit quite a bit of this. So now I've chosen the stencil to use my texture paste through. This flower from the stencil happens to look almost exactly like the flower on my bedding. So I was actually super psyched to get it. I am mixing Mango Tango with this, and I'm going to end up messing up that particular one accidentally by putting the other side of the stencil over it, but you don't see it because it's part of uh, where I cut it out. You will, however, see a major mistake I'm about to do in just a few seconds. So I'm just using my mister. Now I've used Mango Tango a lot. It's one of my favorite colors. It's one with Jenny B Blue and Tuscan Sun. I call it my triumvirate of color. It's one I just use quite a bit. So there isn't a huge ton left. It's probably at least a third of the way down, if not more. And then I'm just misting over the top of where I stenciled. Now, I'm telling you this about Mango Tango because I'm about to use my blue, which is Cold as Ice or Frostbite, I don't remember which, and I'm forgetting the fact that this color I have barely used. So when I'm doing my misting, I accidentally turn it and dump like a good quarter of the bottle onto this little bit of texture paste. So I jump forward. I'm now finished. I really just wanted to share my dum-dum thing. And but now all my stuff is set and I set it across to dry. So what I have here is a piece of wax paper, and this is just a white cardstock I grabbed from my stash. It's nothing special. It's just basically giving me that 12 by 12 frame so I know where I'm going to be. So I'm going into all of my alphabets. And I am just picking things in shades of blue and green, and sorry, blue and gray and aqua and pink and coral, and choosing different ones to work with that. So I'm starting off up in the left-hand corner, and I'm basically just going to keep going. Some of these words are thickers, or they are the Jilly Bean Soup bean boards. So those are the words I want to emphasize. So being a geek and being honest, enjoy, and not being afraid. So you'll see as I'm working my way through, those are the things I want to emphasize. So now you see my canvas is dry. I'm taking some white Martha Stewart paint. I think it's Wedding Dress. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called Wedding Dress. And here's where I'm going to make another silly oops. I have these stamps by Wendy Vecchi, and they're like mixed media stamps, and I've never actually used them before. And I thought, oh, it would be really cute to have some, messy, scripty type thing over where my embellishments are. I'm using Tim Holtz Distress ink for it, forgetting I'm going to Mod Podge over it, so once the water-soluble ink hits the Mod Podge, yeah, it totally just becomes kind of gray stuff. It's fine. I'm okay with it. So, moving on, I am splitting up my words into strips just so I can double check that they are going to fit on my canvas. And now I have matte Mod Podge. I prefer matte over glossy because even the matte is actually semi-glossy. So, and I'm not a super glossy person, so I'm perfectly happy using the matte. It does still give a little bit of a shine. And now I am going ahead and starting that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a small layer and then put down my words. And then once the words, like a couple of words are done, I'm going to go back over it and kind of pounce it up and down on the letters and fix whatever gets a little messed up. It happens. And then I'm going to go ahead and put another swipe over rather than pouncing. So I pounce and then I kind of swipe it up and down to kind of move it out. So you may notice I am not at my house. I am house sitting for my stepfather, and this process, I will not lie, it took a while. It took a long while. I ended up cutting away when I was gluing things down. I cut away when I was putting my letters down. So, and I had over, as I mentioned, over 2 hours, and I probably worked on it another hour or two beyond what I actually recorded. So here you'll see I have all of my flat letters, the tile stickers and the ones by Ellie Studio and the ones by Simple Stories Snap and some Studio Calico ones and some Webster Pages ones. If you're interested in a specific font, leave a question below and I will let you know. Oh, there's also Felicity Jane in there. I'll let you know which ones belong to that if you fall in love. So I remembered that I had that Be Yourself stamp from the same Wet and Be Becky stamp set, so I pounced over it rather than washing it back and forth, and so that way I was able to save that Be Yourself. It's faint, but it's there. I added some Jenny B Blue misting over the entire thing, because I love Jenny B Blue. And now I'm adding in my words. So the reason I didn't add in my thicker words beforehand is because once I finished all of it, I went back over it with another layer of Mod Podge. And obviously I don't want to Mod Podge over dimensional alphas. So here are all my words, and I'm sorry, this is a temporary setup and I was not prepared for it, so I do apologize. All my words are there, and I did use liquid glue behind all of them, every single one, even the foam thickers. Now, to the center of a couple of these flowers, I added a little bit of glue and then these navy crystal pieces that I have. As I said, I'm doing this as part of an art thing for my bedroom. American Crafts just came out with pre-mixed color pour things. If you've ever seen the color pours on YouTube, uh, they are very popular right now, and Joann's has kits by American Crafts. I bought a kit, I made 3, I bought these little glitter things, and I'm just bringing these over to kind of help meld the pieces that are all going to go above my bed. I'm finishing up this, well, canvas, it's not really a layout, with some enamel dots by the Eyelet Outlet. They are just a white glitter, and that is going to be it for my canvas today. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. Do not forget to head on over to all the other lovely ladies in the description box below who are participating in this Stretch the Sketch YouTube hop. If you have any questions about what I did, feel free to drop me a line also in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.